All right, here we go. Today we have former KGB undercover agent Jack Barsky. Welcome to Vlad TV.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. You've got a great reputation, particularly in a field that I can't relate to anymore.
Well, this story really kind of hits close to home because, like we were talking before the interview, I was actually born what used to be the USSR. It's the Ukraine now, but I remember growing up and hearing stories. Growing up under the KGB and kind of being scared to talk. Because we were worried about bugs in the walls and so forth. So this is my first time actually interviewing someone of your profession. So I'm really looking forward to it. But this is our first time here, so I want to start at the very beginning.
I got to tell you. In the section where I operated, which is espionage, the first directorate, most employees were gentlemen. There were no thugs. You can't operate as an intelligence officer, with some minor exceptions, as a thug. Right? It doesn't work. You're supposed to befriend other people. You got to be nice. You got to be intelligent and so forth. So. And while I was in the KGB, I didn't have a clue about the murderous history of that organization. 500,000 employees, and the vast majority of them were working against their own people.
Yeah. Well, this is our first time here. I want to start at the very beginning. So you were actually born in 1949 in East Germany.
Correct.
Okay. And I guess right around the time you were born, that's when Germany got, this was after World War II, and Germany got split up into West Germany, which was run by, U.S. and Europe and so forth, and then East Germany, which was run by the USSR.
Okay, so this is what happened. I'm born in 1949 in May. I believe in October, sometime in the fall, West Germany became a state. The Bundesrepublik. And soon thereafter, East Germany became a state. And so we had now the split Germany that lasted for 4 decades.
Okay. And your real name is not Jack Barsky. How do you pronounce your real name?
No, that is my real name. I can show you my driver's license.
Right. Well, it became your real name later on, but the name you were born with is what?
I don't like either name. To me, the names are just labels. But I'm going to answer your question. I hate it pronouncing is Albrecht Dittrich.
There you go. There you go. Okay. So you're growing up in East Germany, and your father, who's a school teacher, was very much a Marxist and a Leninist.
Yeah, I don't know if he was like a flaming revolutionary, so to speak, but he initially joined the Social Democrat Party. And then when the Social Democrat Party joined with the Communist Party, all the communists took charge. So my father then, by default, became a member of the Social Unity Party, which was a communist party. And, in those days, if you wanted to have a career, you better be a party member. And he wanted to have a career. We didn't have a lot of political discussions at home, but he towed the line in school. He became the principal of the middle school where I went to school. And, he taught me in a couple of subjects, one of them, interestingly enough, English. But, whenever he made a statement with regard to foreign policy or politics, he was always towing the line. All right, that's all I know. We didn't have a really strong relationship. We didn't get intimate in conversation or anything like that. He was very his emotional development was not complete because he was 17 when the war ended.
Okay, and when you were in school, you actually joined a communist youth group yourself.
Yeah, the Young Pioneers. We were with almost, I don't even remember a single classmate who didn't join because that was a given. You just sort of had to. And that was from first through 8th grade. We had a blue kerchief or a bandana, whatever you want to call it, and the Soviets had a red one. And so we were modeled after the Soviet pioneer organization. And then once we went to 11th through through college, actually, we then advanced to the Young Communist League. That was the youth organization, which sort of was a springboard into becoming a party member. But again, almost everybody joined that group, and only about 20% of those would join the Communist Party.
Okay, so you graduate school, then you go to the University of Jena,
Yeah.
and then I think in 1969 you get approached by someone from the East German secret police.
See, I thought it was East German secret police for a long time, but having done some research, I now know that the KGB had volunteers among German nationals. And I am now reasonably sure that he was not Stasi. He was not East German secret police. He was just one of those volunteers. But he was German. He spoke perfect German. And that was the way they figured to approach me, so I wouldn't get shell-shocked when somebody with a Russian accent, a stranger, comes at me.
Okay. And then I guess by 1970, that's when you were actually having conversations about joining the KGB?
The conversation started right away. So he, when we spoke for maybe 20, 25 minutes, he asked the one question that indicated to me that it might get interesting. And so he asked if he was talking with me about my career ambitions, and he then asked the question, could you see yourself working for the government one day? That's an indirect question, but I pretty much knew where he was going with this, and I said, yeah, but not as a chemist. So he knew that I was interested. And then we met the following week at a restaurant for dinner, and he had another person next to him at the table. And as I'm approaching the table, he gets up and he points to the other guy and says, oh, by the way, I'd like to introduce Herman. We're working with our Soviet comrades. So that's how I landed with the KGB. I already knew. Now I was interacting with a KGB fellow. Nobody had to tell me that.